Well, welcome back to Crowley House Flower Farm. This week we have 3 weddings that we are designing, and we thought you might like to hang out with us as we put these beautiful events together. This is what growing your own flowers is all about. So we grow quite a bit of flowers for mixed bouquets. We also grow for weddings, so a little bit higher end flowers that you might not be able to find on a regular basis, so some unusual things. And then we also couple that with things that we have brought in from our wholesalers and markets things we can't grow in our area that fit the vibe of each wedding. So it's kind of fun being able to go out and pick and gather and some of the weddings we're using the majority of stuff from our farm. Some of them are just the styles of them. We just can't get everything to grow here. So we're definitely bringing in some things, but Riley and Emma are working on the designs. I'm going to be helping out just a little bit. And yeah, I'm going to take you along as we do this.
Pretty much what's happening right now is I made some mistakes this week. Pretty much what happened was I forgot a bunch of things to get at the market this week. Yes, we grow our own flowers, but we're in that season where we call it a lull. It's right when we have some flowers, but we don't have quite enough to do the amount and the demand that we have. This weekend we have 3 really large weddings happening, and that's happening right in the middle of a lull. So that means that we do have to buy in quite a bit more than we normally would for this wedding. And that's totally okay. I gotta say, like, some people, when they ask us, like, oh, like, you do weddings, do you grow all of your own flowers for it? And like, yes, most of it is from our farm, but there's like a lot of things that we either can't grow or provide the numbers. But there's so many other growers in our area that we're really thankful that we have a place like a growers market here where we can go to a wholesale market that's just local growers. Yes, this week we have huge weddings. They all have a lot of demand in like how much product we're using because we're doing installs for every single one of them. Installations, that's things like where you're getting married under, like an arch or an arbor or anything like that that is made out of flowers. We have 3 of those going out, and those take a lot of product. I did not buy nearly enough for what we needed because not only are we sending out these big installs and the rest of their wedding, but we also have buckets of flowers that are going out with each of these weddings. I didn't calculate all the numbers properly. Today we're trying to get at least one of the weddings done, which is a white, blue, and yellow wedding, and it's the smallest of them all. I try to get the smallest one done first before going to the bigger ones, just so that I can make sure I have enough product for that one in particular. And this one is different color palette than the other 2. The other 2 have very similar color palettes, so I can use a lot of the same stuff for them. Okay, first thing I always do is prep all of the product I have, which we did yesterday when I got home. And I will show you the cooler because it's stuffed to the brim with things right now. But I just had this pampas grass that still needed to be put in a bucket and all the fun things. This is for one of the weddings that I have, but I think I'm also going to use it for the other one. But let me show you the cooler. And this cooler is literally like stuffed to the brim. Like, there is so much happening in here, you don't even know. Like, there is no walking space happening in here. So after I do that, I write out my lists here. So each one of these papers is a list of everything I need for this wedding. I try not to block my mirror too much though, because I use this for my designs, to look in the mirror and make sure it looks great, right? So I have all the list here of my blue wedding, my pampas grass wedding, and I call this one the Mesa Raw because that's where the wedding is happening, and that's what I do. And now I'm going to prep any bouquet bases that I have to do. And I'll show you what those look like.
So I'm working on the Pampas Grass wedding, so I had to give all the weddings names because we have 3 of them this weekend. And so this one's more, I would say, terracotta, white, eucalyptus, dry grasses, more kind of, I would call it more, I don't know, edgy a little bit. We are using a little bit of white in this one, but we've got some roses here. This one was called Mab, and it is a very expensive rose. We bought that from the wholesaler. And then we had some sandstone roses. And then we had, this one is just really, really pretty, and I believe it's called Mustard. Golden Mustard is what this one's called. I really like that. That's really fun. We have the white sea holly. And then we got in we cut just some oregano from the garden. It's starting to bloom. We have some mugwort. This is the silver one. We had some mums, this terracotta mum color. A few of these dahlias, I don't know the name. I'm not sure about the yellow center on this one. I might pull that one out. This is that echinacea that we got in. It'll be out next year, but this one is so beautiful. I think that will look really nice. And then we just have some terracotta yarrow, a little touch of baby's breath, and some eucalyptus with some grasses that are going to go in. So I'm going to put that together. I think it's going to be absolutely lovely when it's done. It's been a while since I've made a bouquet. Oh, we do have some beautiful stock right now. And then our Lysianthus. So Rilley is just finishing up the blue and white country wedding. It's kind of that herbal, lots of herbs incorporated with some of the wildflower look. That one's coming together really, really nice. I love how the bouquets turned out. And I am starting on the more, we call it more of a bohemian style, but it's grasses and kind of a little more edgy with eucalyptus and more muted tones. And this one is, I think it's gonna be at someone's farm. So this is wedding number 2 that I'm working on, and then we're gonna start on number 3 here shortly, which is a vineyard wedding as well. So yeah, it's coming together really nicely, and it's starting to get really warm. So we're gonna probably turn on the fans and keep working. She's rusty.
Look at her. Woo. Amaranth, which is this great stuff here. It's one of my favorite things to use because it kind of just is like such a wow factor. I especially love using it in weddings where I have like installs, but it can be really fussy with the stems breaking. If you can see that, there's a little bit of wire that I wrap around the top of the stem, and that just helps to give extra support so that I don't have to worry about this possibly breaking on the bride or falling apart or anything like that. And it also allows me to have a lot more ability to move it. This one's done. They're gonna work on the bridesmaids bouquets, and I'm finishing up the blue wedding. So far, so good.
So it's day 2 of designing weddings, and it is an overcast day that feels very cool at the moment, but is going to heat up to almost 100 degrees. So we're starting early. We're getting a jump on everything, and just in the cool of the morning trying to get most everything done. Yesterday we got all the personal flowers done on 2 of the weddings. We have 1 more wedding today to do, which is just a bridal bouquet, 8 bridesmaids bouquets, and then a few boutonnieres, corsages, that kind of thing. So then we have 2 large floor installs that we're putting together for 2 of the weddings, and then 2 arch pieces for another wedding. So that's what we're mainly working on, is the arch pieces. I'm going to try and finish up all the personals before the girls get here. So I'm up at the crack of dawn, got my coffee, and I'm going to turn some good music on and get to work. So we're working on the blue, yellow, and white wedding. I love this color combination. It's so beautiful. Look at that delphinium. It's got several shades, the light blue, and then we have the dark. And then we have some white snapdragons, a little bit of baby's breath, some white stock, and then lots and lots of stuff from the garden. Feverfew, we have some tansy, which is the medical tansy. I love that color. Some ammy, and then we've got the cosmos, forget-me-nots. And then I've tossed in a little bit of Dusty Miller and some lighter scented geranium, which is, I think, Lady Plymouth. So Rilley is working on, these are going to be for ground arch installation, and I'll show you guys later when we get this all set up, but it's going to be absolutely beautiful. She wanted kind of an English garden style, and so this is what we're using. We're using a little bit of ivy, this is the clumping ivy without seed on it, so that's just kind of our base. So we're mixing this with a little viburnum, so this is just kind of the base structure, and then we're going to start filling in with flowers and some more airy. We have some like seeded, or it's oat grass, and a few other things. So it's going to be really pretty when it's all set up and ready to go. So I'm finishing up the 2 wine barrel arrangements. We just have them in little glass vases, and they're going to cascade, so you're not going to be able to see that, and they're going to tuck right into a wine barrel. And so this is very English country garden style wedding, and it's got a lot of herbs and things like that, textures. It's going to be really pretty when it's done. So I'm starting on wedding number 3, which is very, very neutral palette. It's going to be really, really fun and pretty when it's all done. The only difference really is we're adding in some of this dark chocolate Scabiosa and chocolate Cosmos. And then there's just white. It's just all neutral tones. We got so we have some Coco Locos, and then just some foliage going in that's kind of a silvery green. Hypericum berry, which is kind of the creamy white. And then we have some chocolate lace flower, some grasses, and then some of the Lysianthus that have been growing in the greenhouse. It's really pretty. It's day 3 of the weddings. This is setup day, and we're taking all these beautiful flowers. Isn't this just one gorgeous? I think this is my favorite wedding of the weekend. We have 3 that we're setting up. 2 at 2 different vineyards, and then another at a family farm. So this one is just stunning. But blue is my favorite color, so I don't know about you. You guys can leave us a comment. Let us know which wedding setup when we're done here. We're going to show you all 3 of them, of which one you like the best, what colors, what flowers. They're just all so pretty, but this one is really fun. A lot of this came from our farm, so that makes it even more beautiful, I think, when you use local flowers. So my job today is just to go through each bouquet, pull it out of the cooler, and just kind of look for anything that might be damaged or that doesn't look up to par of what we want. This is the bridal bouquet. This is looking absolutely stunning. I just check all the paperwork, make sure everything is correct, and then start ribboning up and getting us ready to go. So it's going to be kind of one of those days where we're going to have to really think through setup, and we always put the last wedding that we're doing in the front of the car and the first wedding in the back. So we're going to do that. But yeah, we have a beautiful morning. It's going to be nice that it's not going to be super hot. I think it's going to be 87 today, just gorgeous. We have a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of humidity, which is not bad at all. But this is, the flowers are loving it outside. I've been watering pretty heavily because we haven't had any rain since, I don't even know when, May, I think. So we've been watering pretty heavily just to try and keep the gardens looking nice. This cloud cover is really helping. Okay, so I'm just going to get these ready, and Riley is on her way with coffee. So we'll be on our way.
So we had thrip damage this year, which is a bug that kind of damages the roses. So a lot of our roses we can't really use, and that's okay. We'll get it next year. But because of that, I have to buy in quite a few of our roses, which is also okay. And I also didn't account quite enough. So I had to go to our lovely local grocery store and grab some roses for petals, like this. If you're buying from a wholesaler, a lot of times you can just ask them, say, hey, I'm looking for petal roses, and they're going to be a lot cheaper than just buying the wholesale rose as it is, because petal roses, you want ones that are slightly older. They could be like a little bit damaged because you're not really going to like see them super well. They don't have to be in pristine condition. That's why I like using grocery store ones, but sometimes your grocery store aren't gonna have the colors that you want. Like we prefer white unless like the colors of our wedding are different. This one needed white, and thank goodness my grocery store, it had 3 bunches, and that was perfect amount for what we needed.
So Riley and I are here at Youngberg Hill, which is a winery, and none of the coordinators are here or anything. So we're gonna have to just drop this wedding and then go. But we have everything kind of staged here along the wall, and then we're gonna go set up our other wedding and come back when the coordinators are here and can tell us where to place everything. But this over here, I'll show you. This is the ceremony site that we're going to be setting up here shortly. So this is where they're gonna get married, I'm assuming. So somehow we have a floral arch piece that's going to go here in front of us. And then the chairs, I'm not sure. It might look out this way. I'm not completely sure, but the view is absolutely stunning here at Youngberg Hill. It's a beautiful place to get married. It's just overlooking the valley there. Really pretty.
So it's harvested here on the property, all the rocks, but it's also hand masoned. So this is all put together by hand, all their stone pieces here, which I think is just really cool, very old worldy.
And the floor is absolutely stunning.
And the floor in there also is the same thing, which is cool.
I love these arches though. Look at that. Just the architecture of it. It's really cool. They have some cute little gardens. Those doors fully open. So in the wintertime you can do like weddings here. I feel like they need painted now, but they're really pretty. Very
I like
pretty.
the like muted
They're
gray.
more patinaed.
Patinaed. Okay, one wedding done. We are moving on to, well actually we're going backwards because because there was the
Again.
wedding, the blue
This
wedding.
is the last wedding. The last wedding is done and set up. We ended up moving those beautiful centerpieces inside because it's really hot on that deck. I feel much better about that. So now, where are we going?
We're going back to the vineyard we were just at for the blue and white wedding to set that up. Hopefully. I don't know, have they messaged us at all about anything?
Mm-mm.
So we're hopefully going back to be done, and if not, I guess we'll
We'll leave.
leave.
We'll just be done because we did
Okay.
our part.
So
But we're gonna go get some lunch as well.
I'm so hungry, you guys. I'm ready for food. Okay. Okay, well, it's too hot for us to set it up now, so the coordinator's gonna set it up later. I just went and talked with her and stuff, but so you guys can't really see that, but you saw them on the tables. They're gorgeous. It's a similar setup to the other one. They're just in different colors pretty much. But now I guess that's it for all of our weddings.
Pretty easy today. Yeah. So we're gonna go get some lunch and head home.
I'm so hungry.
Thanks so much for joining us again. Another week here at Crowley House. Weren't those weddings absolutely stunning? Anyways, next week we'll be doing more things in the garden, so I hope you can join us back here again very soon. So until next time, much success in all you do and grow, and we'll be seeing you shortly back here at Crowley House very soon. Bye-bye.